This video was created by VinylicPuma of VinylicPumaGaming.
So a couple years back, you used to be able to create a lot of crazy, powerful modded guns and weapons in Borderlands 2. Now, while Gearbox patched much of that functionality out of the game, there are still a few quirky modded items that you can use in your games now. Now, the vast majority of these aren't going to be super powerful or anything, and they're actually going to be weaker than most of the legendary weapons that you can find in both games. But they are in some cases going to be superior to most purple rarity weapons. Some even improve existing weapons in some interesting ways. Now, here are 8 really cool mods for existing guns and weapons in Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. Number 8, the Trick Shot mod. Now, this is a pretty cool mod that works on pistols, and you can also get it to work on some sniper rifles. It's just that you'll have the Kluk prefix instead. Now, in order to get this to work, your pistol will need to place the ricochet or the fire rate accessory in the accessory slot, and then you'll need to change your weapon's manufacturer value to JAKOBS. What this does is it allows your weapons to ricochet in the absence of certain skills. So you won't need something like Gage's Close Enough skill in order to get something like the Unkempt Herald to have ricochet projectiles. While you can do this with sniper rifles, I don't really see the point, since the goal of a sniper rifle is to be accurate on the first shot. But ultimately, I think this benefits pistols the most. Since this does require the accessory slot, you do lose the ability to have the double accessory on your pistols, which makes certain guns like the Unkempt Herald a lot weaker than the standard double penetrating Unkempt Herald that you can normally get. Number 7, the JAKOBS BURSTFIRE mod. This particular mod is fairly limited as it only works on weapons with the standard dull barrel, which is only available on sniper rifles, assault rifles, and pistols. Even though certain guns like the Godfinger, Hammerbuster, and I believe the Judge have the dull barrel, it's a unique version and these don't work. Once you do have something with the standard dull barrel though, all you have to do is you have to switch the manufacturer from JAKOBS to dull. As you might have guessed, what this does is it adds burst fire to very specific weapons in Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. This effect only works on 3 weapons, which are the JAKOBS revolver pistol, the JAKOBS Scarab assault rifle, and the JAKOBS Calipine sniper rifle. And as I said previously, this does not work on any unique variants of these particular weapons. Of the 3, I think the pistol is by far the best. The assault rifle is also pretty good, but like most other assault rifles in Borderlands 2 in the pre-sequel, it's limited by both its base and critical hit damage. The sniper, on the other hand, is not really that good at all, and you should avoid it. Number 6, the Magazine Size Plus mod. This works on the vast majority of pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, launchers, and shotguns from both Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. However, in order to get this mod to work, you will need to have all bandit weapon parts on your gun, and then you will need to switch your manufacturer from whatever it is to bandit. So if you had a Dahl or a Malawan weapon, it needs to be made into a bandit weapon by changing the manufacturer value. Now, what this does is it boosts the magazine size of your weapons. However, depending on the weapon type, it may also negatively affect other attributes like your damage, reload speed, and some other stats as well. As I've said previously, this is compatible with almost all weapons, including unique weapons like legendaries, pearls, and seraph weapons from both games. You'll ultimately find that it makes certain weapons like the Grog Nozzle, Ruby, or Little Evie a little bit better than they were previously. And the general key here to keep in mind is that the lower the magazine size, the better the boosts you're going to get. So if you have something like the Unkempt Herald, which already has a decent magazine size already, you aren't going to really see that many improvements. Number 5, the ×3 assault rifle mod. So this works on assault rifles with the standard Vladov minigun barrel. If you have a unique weapon like the Shreddifier or the Lead Storm, this effect does not work. Provided you do have a gun with the standard Vladov minigun barrel, all you need to do is switch the manufacturer to JAKOBS. Now, if your gun is already a JAKOBS weapon, you already have a ×3 multiplier in the first place. Now, what this does is it adds a ×3 projectile multiplier to non-JAKOBS assault rifles that have the Vladov minigun barrel. So you can improve these types of assault rifles if they come from either Dahl, Bandit, Torg, or Vladov. of the 4 manufacturers, I think the doll version is going to be the best and the most reliable to use because there's no wind-up time. This mod is pretty good, but I prefer another that I will be discussing later on in this video. Number 4, the AUTOLASER mod. So this only works in Borderlands the pre-sequel since lasers only appear in the pre-sequel. Like the JAKOBS BURSTFIRE mod, this is extremely niche in the sense that it only works with Maliwan lasers with the standard Hyperion laser barrel. Like many of these mods, all you have to do is change the manufacturer from Maliwan to doll in order to get this effect to work. For those of you that don't know, all doll weapons gain increased fire rate during burst fire while aiming down the sights, and the AUTOLASER mod simply exploits this as it massively boosts the fire rate of the Maliwan railgun laser, provided you're aiming down the sights of the gun. Otherwise, your fire rate should be like it normally is if you were firing from like the hip or something like that. This is a pretty cool mod that you can do on your weapons. However, I think you'll realize that something like Kanada's laser or even your Absolute Zero or Rosie are going to be better than this though. Number 3, the ×2 assault rifle mod. So this requires the Vladov standard barrel for assault rifles in order to work. As long as your assault rifle isn't from doll or isn't a unique weapon, this mod will also work. All you have to do is switch the manufacturer from whatever your weapon is to doll. So it's going to work on Vladov weapons, Bandit weapons, Torg weapons, and JAKOBS weapons with the Vladov standard barrel for assault rifles. Now again, what this does is it adds a ×2 projectile multiplier to non-doll assault rifles that have the Vladov standard barrel, not the minigun barrel. In case you didn't know, this mod is based off of a legit weapon that spawns in both games called the doll double tap rifle, and this gun always has a ×2 projectile multiplier. And what's cool about this mod is that if you put it on a Vladov, Torg, or Bandit weapon, it makes the gun full auto. Oddly, it also makes the JAKOBS version full auto as well, despite the fact that most JAKOBS weapons aren't automatic weapons at all, which I don't know why it works out that way, but it's kind of cool. Now, I prefer the ×2 assault rifle to the ×3 simply because there is no wind-up time and the ammo consumption is much better. 3 projectiles per shot on an automatic weapon will wreck your ammo. Number 2, the Pepperbox mod. Like many of the other weapon mods, this requires the standard version of the Vladov barrel on pistols. This doesn't work on unique variants like your Little Evie, Infinity, or Stinger pistols. All you have to do to get this mod to work is to switch your manufacturer to JAKOBS. Now, what this does is it adds a ×2 projectile multiplier to pistols in absence of the double accessory for pistols. In fact, if you do have a double accessory, it makes the pistol have a ×3 projectile multiplier, which is pretty cool. Now, you can also add the fire rate accessory to give your gun the trick shot prefix, which also allows your bullets to ricochet as well. So you can actually have guns that have both the Pepperbox mod and the trick shot mod at the same time. Ultimately, this gun works because it's based on a cut weapon from both Borderlands 2 and, to a lesser extent, the pre-sequel called the Pepperbox. Now, you actually can get a glitch version of the Pepperbox in the pre-sequel, provided you have the Claptastic Voyage DLC. All this mod essentially does is it replicates that version's effects without the actual glitch effects that that version has. So, actually, if you had a glitch Pepperbox that's legit from the pre-sequel, it's actually going to be better than this particular gun. So just keep that in mind. And finally, number 1. FASTBALL enhanced grenade mods. Now, I'm not entirely sure how these are made. I don't entirely understand it. What I do know is that it looks like you take parts of the FASTBALL and then you graft other types of grenade mods over it. So, for example, you could graft a Tesla grenade, a Fire Bee, a Stormfront, the Pandemic, maybe a Singularity or a Quasar grenade over the original FASTBALL. So it appears that you can actually get this to work with some regular non-unique grenade mods as well as some legendary grenade mods as well, which is pretty cool. Now, of all of the different versions that I've tried, I really like either the Tesla or the Stormfront with this FASTBALL enhancement. Now, these are actually fairly overpowered. mob enemies pretty much get destroyed with these grenade mods, since you're taking the damage potential of the fastball and you're combining it with the more traditional and standard grenade mods that you can find, like your singularities, your Tesla grenades, or your Firebee grenades. And I'm actually surprised that Gearbox hasn't patched this out of the game yet, and maybe they will if they decide to patch stuff out again. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like and let me know, what is your favorite of the different mods that you saw here? Do you like the AUTOLASER, or do you like something like the additional projectile multipliers that you could put on either assault rifles or pistols? I actually like the additional projectiles. The ammo consumption is ridiculous, but they're fun to use. But anyway, guys, again, take care, and I'll see y'all next time.